Today I'm going to show you how you can upgrade your miter station to a precision powerhouse by installing the Precision Miter Station Fence Kit by Red House Tools. Inside the package you'll find our 3-inch multi-T-track aluminum back fence in either 24, 36, or 48 inches depending on the kit that you order. You'll also find 2 of our peel and stick steel rules in right to left and left to right configurations, our new 3-inch zero deflection flip stop, and a couple packages of our fence mount bracket hardware. Now, before we get started, there's a few tools you need to have on hand to tackle this installation. First of all, you'll need a long straight edge or a level. I recommend at least 5 feet. You'll also need a drill or an impact driver, a 9mm drill bit, a 6mm Allen key, a pencil, a tape measure, and some 5-minute epoxy or CA glue. You may also want a pair of metal snips and some painter's tape. Before you start this installation, your miter saw should be secured to the bench so that it can't move around. And once you've confirmed that's the case, the first thing that we'll do is we'll use our level and we'll set it across the existing fence on the miter station and make sure that it's butted up against the existing fence, and we'll use a pencil to draw a line on the worktop. In this case, I'm going to be installing the 36-inch back fences, so adding an additional 6 feet of back fence to this station. So just make sure you slide the level so that you can get a line as long as you need, and make sure that you can clearly see your line. Next, we'll grab our multi-tracks and we'll set them on each side of the saw, and then grab one of the hardware component bags. Now inside, you'll find 2 of these threaded inserts, 2 angle brackets, which already have some mounting hardware on them, and then 2 of these knurled knobs. The first thing we're going to do is line up our multi-T-track with the pencil line that we just left on the worktop. And then we're going to take our fence bracket, and on the back side, you'll see these sliding T-nuts. And we're going to slide those into the middle track on the back of our fence. Where you place the brackets is up to you. However, there's a few considerations you'll want to take into account. For the first bracket, I recommend keeping it somewhere in the 4 to 6 range from the edge of your worktop, or roughly 8 inches from the edge of your saw's deck. And for the second bracket that's further away from the saw, you want to measure the table length of your saw from the blade to the edge of your saw, and make sure that that second bracket is at least that distance in from the end of the fence. So on this particular saw, it's 11.5 inches from the blade to the edge of the deck. So I'll make sure that the bracket is at least 11.5 inches in from the end of the fence. And I'll show you why that's important in just a little bit. So from there, I'll roughly mark the positions of where the brackets are, and then I'll move the fences out of the way. Using those markings as a reference line, you want to take a measurement 2 3/4 inches off of the pencil line that you drew, which is the edge of your fence, and mark that spot. These are the spots where we're going to drill for our threaded inserts. So using your 9mm drill bit, drill a hole in each of those locations. The threaded inserts are 3/4 inches long, so you need to drill the hole at least 3/4 inches deep. You may find it helpful to apply a piece of painter's tape on your drill bit so you know exactly how deep to drill. From there, add a small amount of 5-minute epoxy to the threads of the threaded insert. And if you don't have any 5-minute epoxy, CA glue will work as well. And then use the 6mm Allen key to thread the threaded insert down until it's flush with the top of your workbench. Once again, if you want to use a piece of painter's tape, that'll help minimize any squeeze out so you don't end up with glue on your workbench. Let the glue cure for 5 to 10 minutes before reinstalling your fence and getting your brackets back in line with the threaded inserts. And then grab the remaining knurled knobs out of the hardware pack, thread one down through each of the fence mount brackets, and tighten it in place. You'll notice that the knurled knob is in the middle of the fence bracket, and that's intentional because that allows you to slide the fence forward and backwards. Make sure your fence is in line with the pencil mark on your worktop and tighten all the knurled knobs down. From there, we'll install our steel peel and stick measuring tape down the front of the saw and across the fence. Simply zero out the tape to your saw blade, peel and stick it across the existing built-in fence on the saw, and align it across your fence and trim it to length with a pair of tin snips. Now, a key element of this fence system is its ability to be versatile and move forward, backwards, and out of the way, so you want to make sure that you cut the tape between the fence and your existing saw's fence. Now, should you choose to, you can actually extend the fences using our universal multi-T-track connector plates. These you would just install in the back of the fence and then clip on another piece however long you want to, and you could make a custom length fence. And then you wouldn't need to cut this measuring tape. But if you're only going to go with one of the stock kit lengths, just cut it off at the length that you need it. And then lastly, you can install the zero deflection stop in the top track of the multi-T-track. This stop locks firmly in place with just the tightening of a thumb screw on the top, and then you can flip it up out of the way whenever you need to, and it has zero deflection, so you can slam a piece of wood into it and it's not going to move on you. So you can use it to set repeat cuts at any length that you want and just move it out of the way whenever you don't need it. So we'll use the stop right now just to verify that our peel and stick tape aligns exactly where it should based on our tape measure, and then we're good to go on this side. So simply repeat the process on the other side and you've got yourself a full installation. Now, one of the drawbacks of having a fence system on your miter saw is that sometimes you'll be cutting wood that's not perfectly straight, and so it can interfere with your fence and your ability to make cuts. However, this system solves that by being adjustable, by being able to slide the fence backwards or remove it completely if you need to. Conversely, the reason why we set that second bracket where we did is because it allows you to slide the fence forward and create a zero clearance fence, which will remove the tear out that you get on the backside of the saw as it cuts through. Not only that, but you can set the zero deflection flip stop right up next to the blade in this case so that you can have a bump stop very close to the blade if you need to do repeat small cuts. And if you're worried about dust buildup along the fence, we've got that figured out too. You can just raise the fence out of the way so that dust can't build up. You can raise it a fraction of an inch, or you can raise it a couple inches. And in fact, if you want to raise it even higher for things like crown molding, you can move the fence into one of the lower tracks on the backside, and you can raise the fence up even higher. So for these reasons and more, we think this is the ultimate miter station back fence system, and we think you're going to love it. For any questions or concerns about your install, make sure you reach out to us 24/7 at our email at info@redhousetools.com, and make sure you stick around for all the cool products we have upcoming by visiting our website at redhousetools.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.